Hello students, welcome to Nagesh Karajagi Orchid School channel. Myself Priya teacher and I am going to teach science subject for class 7. So in our previous session we discussed about different types of animals from which we can obtain different types of fibers, and also we discussed processing of wool from a fleece of animal. So we learned there are stages which are given there in processing of wool. So can you tell me which are the 9 steps of processing of wool? Okay, very good. So there are 9 steps which are included in a processing of wool. So first one, it is a shearing, then it's a scoring, then third one it's a sorting, then drying, carding and weaving, spinning. All these are steps, 9 steps are there processing in wool. So can you tell me why we use wool, or what are the uses of wool? Okay, good. So we use wool to make different types of clothes also, and different types of carpets and different types of show pieces also. Okay, so very good. Now we are going to learn in today's lesson number 3, fiber to fabric, and sub point for today it is a silk. So this is another animal fiber about which we are going to learn in our today's session. So first first animal fiber we learn it is a wool, and second one it is a silk. The silk is animal fiber made up of protein. Silkworm spin the silk fiber. So what it means silk? Silk is a animal fiber, and that animal fiber which is made up from the protein. And who spin the silk fiber, or which animal is there from which we get silk fiber? So in wool, when we obtain wool, we rear sheep, goat or camel also we saw, then rabbit also is there. And here when we are going to obtain silk, so which animal is there, or from which animal we are going to rear it or obtain it? So silkworm. Silkworm is the animal from which we can spin the silk fiber. So all we know, China is the leading country in production of silk. But here also we know that there are different countries now in world who can produce silk from this silkworm. Okay, so there is not only China, but also there are different countries also there, which is a China or India. Now Pakistan is also there. Okay, so there are many countries which are in production of silk. So students, here I am going to tell you, though China is the first country where silk is discovered. So very interesting story is there about discovery of silk. So here I am going to tell you that story, that how that discovery of silk is occur in. So listen student, the exact time of discovery of silk, it is not known exactly. Okay, so time of discovery of silk, it is not exactly known. Perhaps it is a unknown. Okay, so exact time we are not knowing, but it is known that silk is discovered in China. So who discovered it in China? So there about or around 5,000 years ago in China, there were a empress and emperor. So they both are living together in a forest, okay, or in a jungle, or there are different types of trees in those forests where they were living. So one emperor and one empress was there. So that empress asked by his emperor that she have to find that why the mulberry trees are getting damaged and what is the reason behind it. So that emperor, whose name was Huang Ti, So he is a Chinese. Because of that, the names are different in China, we know. So that Emperor Huang Ti, he asked to his empress, and that name of that empress was Si Luing Chi. Okay. So that emperor asked to empress that please find why our mulberry trees are getting damaged. So she went to find it, and then she found that there are some white colored worms are there. So you know what it means, worms. Okay. So she found that there are white colored worms are there who are damaging these mulberry plants or mulberry leaves. So what they are doing with that? So these silkworms are eating those mulberry leaves, and because of that, what happened there? That mulberry trees got damaged. And also she found that these worms are forming a fiber around themselves, and it is called as a cocoon, or it is also known as cocoon. So no matter you pronounce it cocoon or cocoon, so she found that a cocoon they are forming around themselves, and it is white in color and little bit shiny. So one day what happened there, they were sitting there in forest which is of mulberry trees. So both they were sitting there, and what happened, a cocoon is dropped into her cup of tea. So after dropped into her cup, what happens, that cocoon starts, or it was tangled, and what she saw, that there are some fibers which are separated from that cocoon. After tangled that cocoon, what happens there? So she saw that some fibers are getting separate. So that fibers were getting separate when after dropping into a cup. So like this, the discovery of silk fiber occurred there in China. So this is the story of discovery of silk fiber. Okay, but Chinese are very clever people, so they did not inform any country or any other states also for a long time, for hundreds of years. They hide this information, and after 100 and 1,000 years, what happens, some traders and some travelers went there in China, and they found there is a production of silk in China, and they are producing this silk from this silkworm. And this information when they got, they took this information, and they, after traveling in their countries, they also start using this process or this type of production of silk. Okay. So like this, some travelers are spread this information in other countries. But how that information came into our country or in our India? So there was a king who married with a Chinese or China queen. Okay. So that China queen, she loves silk materials a lot. She loves to wear silk clothes also, and different types of objects which she loved a lot. So what she did, so she brought some silkworms and some cocoons here in India. When she got married with the Indian king, she brought some cocoons and some silkworms from China to India, and like this, that silk came in our India. So isn't it very interesting? Okay. So like this, discovery of production, and also there is a production of silk in other countries. Okay. So now we will learn, or we will discuss that how, before knowing about the production or processing of silk, we have to learn that which type of these worms are there, and which type of mulberry trees are there or mulberry leaves are there, and how they can eat these leaves, and what happens after eating these leaves with these silkworm. So that is called as a life cycle of a silkworm, or it is also known as life history of a silkworm. So before learning that processing of silk fiber, we have to learn life history of a silkworm. So let us know about it. See, India is also ranked amongst the leading silk producing country. After China, India is the second one country which is producing silk in a large amount. Then which type of silk you can find here in India? So see, Tassar silk, Munga silk, Kosa silk, these are some examples of silk fiber which we can found in India. So these are Indian types of silk fiber. So you might be thinking that how these silk fibers are differentiated. Okay, so there are different types of silkworms are also there. So because of types of silkworms, we are getting different types of silk fibers. So in India, there are different types of silkworms, and because of that we are getting different types of silk fiber, and these some names are given here which we found in India. Then silk yarn, or I also told you that single fiber which is a continuous, that is called as a yarn. That silk yarn is obtained from the cocoon of the silk moth. So what it means silk moth? Silk moth is a female silkworm which is going to lay eggs on a mulberry leaves, that is called as a silk moth, and this silk moth is a last stage of their life cycle, that is the silk moth. Okay, it means we can say simply they are the adult or totally grown up stage of that silk worm. Then the most common silk moth is the mulberry silk moth. So commonly which silkworm is there or silk moth is there? So mulberry silk moth. Mulberry silk moths are the silk moths from which we can obtain a very nice silk fibers. So the silk fiber from the cocoon of this moth is soft, elastic, lustrous. This fiber can be dyed in beautiful colors. So in our previous fiber also we discussed that we are going to a first step which is a rearing and breeding. So we learned that in breeding what we are going to do? So we are going to select those animals which are having a nice quality of fleece. Like this, here also this silk moth, what is its name? It is mulberry silk moth. So mulberry silk moths are the living organisms which are giving a cocoon from which we can get a very soft, very elastic and lustrous. So soft, you know what is mean by elastic also you know, but what it means lustrous? So lustrous, it means shiny. So it is having a particular type of shining. Okay, so shining fiber we can get, very good quality of shining fiber we can get from this lustrous, from this silk moth cocoon. So these fiber can be dyed into beautiful color. When this silk moth is going to form a cocoon, it is only white in a color. So it is not different type of color. So what we have to do? We have to color it. So like wool also we colored, here also we have to color that silk fiber. So it is easy, very easy to dye this silk moth fiber. So this is a one more quality of the silk moth fiber. So the scientific name of mulberry silk moth is Morus alba. In India it is commonly known as mulberry silk moth, but what is the scientific name of this? It is a Morus alba. And also some examples at Bombyx mori, it is also one other mulberry silk moth is there from which can obtain silk fiber. So now let us move to our life history of silk moth. So here you can see a picture is given there. So life history, and in this picture you can see the life cycle of this silk moth. So the female silk moth lays eggs. So see this picture carefully. Here you can see, here it is a leaf of a mulberry plant. So in your textbook on page number 30, there it is given a picture 3.10. There you can see a mulberry tree, how it exactly looks. But on Google you can find these images of mulberry tree. So here it is only one leaf of a mulberry tree is shown here, and some egg like structure which are very small in size. So when these silk moths are going to lay eggs, so this white colored structure, it is nothing but eggs of this silk moth. So only like a drop they are looking like. Okay, when they lay eggs, these legs are not big in size, only like a drop of a water we can say, or anything like a drop it is looking like on that leaves. So these eggs are going to grow or change into a caterpillar. So the caterpillar or larvae are hatched from the eggs of the silk moth. So when that silk moth is a female silk moth is going to lay eggs here on mulberry leaves, and then from these eggs this caterpillar or larvae it means that initial stage of this worm after birth, it is called as a larvae. So from these eggs these larvae are hatching out, and these larvae are also known as caterpillar. So this is a structure, or this is, here we can see caterpillars are looking like a worm. So you know worm, but they are small in size because they are in larval stage, because of that they are looking small in size. Then the silkworm feeds on mulberry leaves and gives rise to pupa. So from hatching out from these eggs, here you can see a caterpillar structure or caterpillar stage of the life cycle of silk moth, and after this second stage these caterpillars are going to rise into pupa. But before that they need to feed on mulberry leaves. So these caterpillars are going to feed on the mulberry leaves. So they can eat continuously day and night for 25 to 30 days. So continuously these caterpillars are eating mulberry leaves for 25 to 30 days, and after 25 to 30 days what happens, they are changing into a pupa. The stage of that life cycle of silk moth after caterpillar, it is known as a pupa. So in this stage what happens, these caterpillars are going to secrete a, see, in pupa stage a weave is knitted around by the silkworm to hold itself. So here this caterpillar is going to secrete a secretion which is made up of protein, or which is a protein, and when that protein is come contact in air, what happens, there is a formation of a silk fiber, and in a pupa stage a weave is knitted around by the silkworm. So around itself only that weave which is knitted around the silkworm. So after that it swings its head spinning a fiber. This fiber is made up of a protein and becomes a silk fiber. So here when that protein come contact with air, what happens, that weaving of that knitted structure around caterpillar occurs, and the next stage of this caterpillar we can say, or silk moth we can say, occurs here in a pupa, and this pupa stage, because of that weaving, it is called as a cocoon here. So, in this cocoon, what happens? This fourth stage of silkworm, which is a fourth stage is shown here, it is a butterfly. So, in this pupa, after this pupa, which stage is there? Butterfly is there. So, that butterfly is going to grow inside this cocoon. So, the silk thread is obtained from the silk moth's cocoon. So, this is called as a cocoon, and in this cocoon stage we have to kill these silkworms, and after that only we can get silk fiber. But if we will not kill them in cocoon, at the stage of cocoon or at the stage of pupa, what happens? That the next stage of this silkworm occurs there, or next stage we can get, which is a stage of butterfly here. So, this is a life cycle of silk moth. So, first stage it is eggs, second one it is a caterpillar, third one it is a pupa. So, pupa is a third stage after caterpillar, which is weaved a fiber around itself, and that stage it is called pupa, but the covering around that organism, it is called as a cocoon. Though not a stage, it is called cocoon. So, stage it is a pupa, but the fiber which is around itself, that covering, it is called as a cocoon. Okay? So, do not get confused here. And then fourth stage, it is a butterfly. Okay. Here also you can see one more time, fiber to fabric. So, this is again a picture of life cycle of caterpillar, which is shown here. Okay. So, like this we completed here life cycle of silk moth. Okay, children. So, today what we discussed here? So, like a wool fiber also we discussed here. I told you a very interesting story about silkworm, and it in silkworm we discussed that silk first found in China. So, when it is found in China, so before 5000 years ago, that silk it is found in China. Okay? And after that some travelers spread that information into or around the world. And in India, which type of silk moth is there, or which type of silk fibers are there, also we discussed here. So, which silk fibers are there? So, tussar fiber or tussar silk we can say, then kosa silk is also there, eri silk is also there. So, these types of silk fibers found in India. So, children, also we discussed life cycle of silkworm. So, in life cycle of silkworm, we discussed there are 4 stages of life cycle. First stage it is eggs, second stage it is a caterpillar, third stage it is what it is? Third one pupa. So, pupa is the stage and covering it is called as a cocoon, and fourth stage it is a butterfly. So, this is a life cycle of silkworm we discussed here today. So, now I am going to tell you to complete your activities from this lesson. Okay, whatever syllabus we completed or whatever sub points we completed till now in this lesson. So, there is an activity which is given in your textbook 3.1. So, in 3.1 you have to only differentiate the feeling of that hairs, whatever there is a, so on your body. So, on your hand you have to feel which type of feel is there with your hair, and also the hairs which are present on your head. So, that you have to only differentiate or you have to feel it. Okay. So, that is the first activity. Then second activity, it is a 3.2. So, what you have to do in activity 3.2? So, in 3.2 it is given that you have to collect pictures of those animals from which we can obtain wool. So, I told you names of those animals. There are several names which are given in your textbook also, and we discussed in our previous class also. So, you have to collect these pictures, collect these pictures of animals. If you will not find pictures of animals. So what you have to do, you have to make a sketch in your scrapbook. All these pictures you have to collect and use it or stick them into your scrapbook, and which picture you not get, then you have to draw it. Okay, so picture you have to draw, or sketch you have to draw there of that particular animal. Then activity 3.3. so in activity 3.3 what it is given? So in activity 3.3 you have to draw a map of India, okay, or outline of India, and also you have to draw a outline of different states which are there in India. And after that what you have to do? So you have to find out in which state which animals are there, we can find from which we can obtain wool. Okay. So from India, from which state and from which animal we can obtain wool, that you have to find it, and then you have to color those states or color those parts of India, or cities also you can color at there or mention there in this map. So this is the activity number 3.3. So you have to color that location or denote the particular name of that animal which is reared there in those regions. Okay. Then next activity, it is related with our today's lesson. So in today's lesson we discussed about life cycle of silk moth. So here in activity number 3.7 it is given that you have to cut out pictures of the stages of the life cycles. Okay. So from the life history you have to cut out pictures, or you can draw it also. So directly you can cut out pictures and you can stick them into your scrapbook, or otherwise you can draw this life cycle or life history or these stages into your scrapbook. And one more activity is there, 3.5. What you have to do? You have to collect different pieces of silk fibers from your mother, from your auntie, from your sisters, and also some tailors, if you know, then from these tailors also you can collect silk fibers and then you can stick them into your scrapbook. And not only you have to collect it, also you have to mention that which type of silk fiber it is. So which type of silk fiber, what it means? So I told you names of different types of silk fibers. So which are the names of silk fibers? So tussar silk is there. So you heard about Banarasi silk, isn't it? But what it means? Banarasi silk, Kolkata silk, okay, Kolkata silk. So in Kolkata silk, in Banarasi silk, which particular type of silk it is used, that you have to, it is a scientific name, tussar silk, it is a scientific name, Eri silk, it is a scientific name, Kosa silk. So in these clothes, or the pieces of these clothes, silks, you have to find it that which particular silk fiber is there. So you can take help of your mummies, aunties and sisters, or also from your tailor which is near to your home, and also from Google you can find it. Okay. So hope all you understood today's content which we discussed here, and also that activities we discussed here. So you have to read this activity which today I told you, and that you have to perform it at your home. Okay. So till then we will stop here, and till then you have to take care of yourself. Okay, bye. Thank you.